Hello everybody, this is the first episode of my YouTube series about Google Spreadsheets, or in general any spreadsheet software, but I'll be using Google Spreadsheets for convenience mainly, because it's the easiest to, pick up and use. So we start with episode 1. This is going to be just the bare bones basics of using the software, right? So we start with the formatting. We have a lot of columns and a lot of rows. Each row is named with a number, and each column is named with a letter, right? Where these columns and rows intersect, we have cells, right? These little boxes, and each cell is named after the column and row that it lies on. So this top left cell here is named A1. Then if we move across a column, we have B1. Move down a row, then we have B2, right? Make sense? Okay, awesome. So now, if you want to move across them a bit more quickly, you can use the arrow keys just to quickly, traverse them. And if you want to edit one, then you can press enter, and then it automatically puts you into the text editor, right? So now, when you have a cell, you can either have text in it, or you can have numbers in it. The beauty of spreadsheets is that it's able to calculate a lot of large data ranges very quickly and without too much trouble. So if we have, say, just consecutive numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So either we could type these in manually, or we can use the thing that's special about spreadsheets, which is, equations. So we put in an equal sign into any of these cells, and then you're able to put in an equation which that cell will equal to. So the equation that I'm going to use here to create just straight consecutive numbers is A1 plus 1, right? So now we get 2, 1, 2. Make sense? You see, the equation here, we can effectively have variables, right? Except a variable would in this case just be a different cell, right? So if I just put 1 in for A1, then this is a 2, because it references back to A1, so whatever the value is in A1, it'll be that, but 1 higher, right? So then we can, if I make this 2, then this is 3. Make sense? So this is the most basic form of what's called cell referencing, right? It's where you reference another cell in the equation for one cell. So if we were to continue this, we have this little dot here, and then when your mouse goes over it, it makes like a little plus icon. So if you can just drag that down, and it'll fill in that formula, right? And spreadsheets, what they do is, as you fill it in, it automatically updates that formula to always be the cell directly above it, right? So here it references A2 in A3, and here it references A3 in A4, and so on, right? So it automatically updates that, allowing you to basically, you can fill this out as long as you want, and it'll automatically fill it all out. That's the key thing with spreadsheets. So, and once again, if I change this to like a 3, for example, then all of these change following that. So back to this. So we have cell referencing, right? And you've seen we can do plus, we can also do minus. So if I just change, if I change this to a -1, then that becomes 0, and then I can copy this down, right? And then now it goes into negative numbers. So that makes sense. I'll delete that for now. So as you saw, we can make equations or formulas that allow you to reference other cells within one cell in order to create basically equations that are able to change depending on what data you put in. But the thing is, right, what if we have, say, 23, and that's a constant, right? Except then we have a constantly changing 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Say the equation is, let's just keep it simple. Say the equation we want is 23 plus consecutive numbers, right? This might be like a linear growth equation, right? So what we would do is we would put in A1 plus B1, right? And that makes sense. But now, if we try to autofill this, notice these numbers are way lower because this updates and it thinks that I want A2 to be there. But no, I want it to still be referencing back to A1, right? And this is where the autofill has a problem. And that's why we need another thing called absolute cell referencing. So the way we do this is we have little dollar signs, right? So if you put dollar signs in here, right? Then what happens is when you try to copy over the formula, this A1, it stays fixed, but this B column, it can change, right? As you continue the formula. And then here, say I just put in the previous formula, right? Say I just fill that in, and now that works perfectly, right? And the beauty is, you may be thinking, well, if we know it's going to be 23, then why don't we just put 23 into this formula, save ourselves the hassle of using an extra cell reference? Well, the key is here. Now, if we have a different equation, then we can get rid of this, put in, say, 12. And then now all of this can update itself, right? And that's the main thing with spreadsheets, right? You can use them to calculate a lot of things and then easily change those calculations as you go. So before you go off, I have a little bonus tip as a teaser for the next episode, which will be on graphs and timelines. So if we have our +1 model here, right, where the next cell is equal to the previous cell +1. Whoops, forgot to put in the equal sign. It's very easy to mess this stuff up, but the nice thing is you can see where you made a mistake. So if we have, say we want to model whatever's in column A times 2. So then we do A1 times. So times, it's funny, use an asterisk instead because you don't have the actual symbol for it on your keyboard. So asterisk would be multiplication, and then this slash would be division. But anyways, so you have A1 times 2, right? And then see, Spreadsheets is nice. It lets us autofill, so we just click yes. And then now we have that. And then say we want to graph something else as well. We want to do 2 to the power of, which will be this little up arrow thingy, whatever's in A1 or column A, right? So now say we have all of these different things, right? See, that expands very fast. Say you want to graph all of these. Well, the thing is, right, to make a graph, you need to select your columns, then go up here, click insert, and then chart, right? But say you want to make a graph with these two, right? So you may be thinking, how can I select those, right? Because the way the selection works is you drag it over, right? Well, the way you do that is you hold control, and that lets you effectively select individual cells separately, right? And then from there we can do whatever we want with these two without having to worry about selecting the wrong thing. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I will be reading them because I need ideas for videos. So see you soon, maybe, hopefully, who knows.